You there. What are your pronouns?
They, them, sir.
And you, Arcadian. What are your pronouns?
Z here.
Z here. You?
Black woman.
Are you serious? Spartans! How many genders?
We can't let this nonsense spread any further, Spartan. You have to put things straight.
I will literally put things straight, my love. He doesn't say it. There's no room for jokes when it's war. Not in Sparta. No place to discuss some mentally ill stuff.
He's mentally ill. He's a biological man pretending to be a woman. That's a mental illness or something wrong with him.
Oh my lord. Are any of the rest of you guys sick and tired of this stuff? Because I can tell you I certainly am.
Are we topless at the White House?
Hello, my little piggies. Welcome back to the channel. And the Dems are not handling all of Trump's appointments very well. There are so many of them, my head is spinning. But the best one, of course, is Matt Gaetz. And Senator Ron Johnson, a total gangster, when reporters asked his opinion on the Matt Gaetz appointment, he unfolded a printout and a picture of Rachel Levine and Sam Brighton and asked reporters whether or not they harassed Democrats over those nominees. And of course they didn't. They preened and gushed about it. They were just so bloody happy. So virtuous. And Levine better watch herself standing so close to Sam Brighton. He has been accused of stealing women's luggage in the past. Now, I do believe that this has been debunked since, but geez, this is not a discussion we should be having anyways. These are definitely not the people we want in these kind of positions. But of course, what we do want is the guy coming in to replace her, RFK Jr., baby. Just like Jeff Jarrett storming onto the scene, taking her out. Man, RFK kind of looks a little bit like Jeff Jarrett, actually. This is the woman that they have in the position right now. Can you believe it?
Equinox power of equinox right, equinox balance of day and night.
Stop it! I can tell you I know who I trust more with my health, and I'm very glad to see RFK Jr. getting in. Because we might very well be free of this sickness very soon. It is true, House of Trad. Because Speaker of the House Mike Johnson just released the following statement regarding the use of single-sex facilities throughout the U.S. Capitol complex. All single-sex facilities in the Capitol and House office buildings, such as restrooms, change rooms, and locker rooms, are reserved for individuals of that biological sex. It is important to note that each member office has its own private restroom, and unisex restrooms are available throughout the Capitol. Women deserve women's only spaces. So there you go. Sarah McBride has her own bathroom in her office. Here is Sarah McBride. She is currently the first and only transgender woman serving in Congress, but obviously this was enough to start a huge shitstorm, especially with Trump coming in. Just proof he has no business being in Congress anyways. The fact that he has his own bathroom, but still insists on making others uncomfortable.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
That's right. Put that Peterson clip in there, because you don't have that right. I mean, bloody hell, this used to be a serious country.
Terrorist, your game is through, 'cause now you have to answer to America.
But hey, what are you gonna do when a transgender man comes in? Like some woman with a vagina who's all like hopped up on testosterone with a beard and muscles and stuff, and she wants to use the female bathroom because that's the rules now. What are you gonna say then, But hey, I'm not a genius. But also, speaking of not a genius, the women of The View certainly had their opinion.
She is the one person in the House that this will affect. It's for House and their staff. One person, one person. And this woman that sat at our table was one of the most decent, amazing politicians I've ever seen. Her messaging was resounded across the boards. And as she herself said, I am not here as the first I'm not here on a cause. I'm here as a person with ideas. And that was the point here. And what I'd be more scared of if I were there is going into the bathroom with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, these women should be afraid of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She will bring the hammer down, and she is not shy to tell you what she thinks of all this.
Sarah McBride, as he calls himself, formerly Tim McBride, is a biological man, and he should not be using any of our restrooms in the Capitals, in our office buildings. But Nancy Mace's resolution doesn't go far enough. A resolution is just a statement by Congress saying that Congress disagrees with something. We need something more binding, and that's what I just brought up at the microphones there in our conference, is I directly asked Speaker Johnson what the men in our leadership are going to do about this, because this has to be stopped. America gave a mandate at this election and said not only are they sick of the open borders, the invasion, the out-of-control inflation, foreign wars, but they're sick of the trans ideology being shoved down our throats, and it's an attack on women and children all over the country. I don't think Nancy Mace's resolution does enough. I think we need to do more. That's what I asked Speaker Johnson, and he committed to me in the conference that that Sarah McBride will not be using our restroom.
Let's see what Tim Pool and the gang has to say.
Let's jump to this story from the Post-Millennial. House Speaker bans men from women's bathrooms on Capitol Hill. This is a weird story that the Speaker of the House had to say men can't go in the women's room. I don't understand why this. Was this not already
Speaking of an immoral world? Well, you have
Was
Marjorie Taylor Greene to thank for this.
Yo, Milo, he's crawled out of whatever cave he went into. Thank God. I wonder if Trump winning allowed him to come back. Somebody's going to put in the comments that he's been back for a long time and I'm an idiot. But still, nice to see Milo.
Let me get real quick context.
For sure.
There's a new member of Congress coming in named Sarah McBride, a Democrat.
No. That's not the name of that person.
Well, you can change your name. And legally on paperwork, this person is identifying as Sarah McBride. I'm just trying to give the context.
Well, can we? Okay.
I'll have you. So let me say this, and then you can follow up and explain what's wrong about it and all that stuff. In the media, they have reported an individual who is going by the name Sarah McBride, who's biologically male.
I ain't seen a name change document. Have you?
Okay.
I'm Sarah.
Nancy Mace says we will not have men in the women's bathrooms in Congress. Proposed a bill. Doubled down and said, we will now propose this in all federal buildings in this country. Mike Johnson comes out and says, you know what? Men cannot use women's cannot use men. Thank you and have a nice day. This is where we currently are. Milo, explain what's going on.
So you have Marjorie Taylor Greene to thank for this. The bill that Nancy Mace is putting forward, which would apply to all federal buildings everywhere, for instance, would apply to your local DMV. This is a very good thing, and we hope that it passes and we hope that it happens. Mike, as the Speaker of the House, can say what happens in the Capitol complex. Right? So in the Capitol complex, so long as the Speaker of the House determines what happens everywhere. So without a bill being passed, without a law being passed, he's able to institute new rules for how those buildings are used. Okay? So Mike Johnson, as Speaker of the House, has said no biological males in the female bathrooms in the Capitol complex. And that means the offices, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene to thank for this, because Mike Johnson, that wasn't a given that happened, but Marjorie announced a day before this ruling came down from Mike Johnson that Mike Johnson was going to do this. And I don't know to the extent to which that was definitely the case or not the case, but she sure maneuvered him into saying it. So Marjorie kind of left him with no option but to do this, which was a great public service and a great thing. And it's right and it's proper that should have happened. Nancy Mace has been great. She's like a mob wife, isn't she? She's sort of like a sexy mob wife.
Hoo-wee, you damn right she is. I certainly wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. Here she is talking about the subject herself.
So if that being a feminist makes me an extremist, I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
Now, some Democrats, like Eric Swalwell, for example, think that this whole thing is kind of petty. Like, it's just a bathroom. Like, get over yourself. It's only one woman. Like, come on, we have serious things to do here. We're trying to run a country. Get over yourself.
When I ran for Congress, I told my constituents I was going to go to Washington and work on the things they care about in their lives, like how much they pay to buy a house, the traffic in our community, being safe in our community, making sure your kids can go to an affordable college. They did not send me to Congress to work on bathrooms. It is insane to me that people view themselves as so small and so inconsequential that they would think their job here is to be a bathroom monitor. That is embarrassing that I have to call these people colleagues, because I came here to do big things, not bathrooms.
But this is, of course, the guy who, like, absolutely lost his mind over the Trump memes, the cats and duck memes. Like, in Congress ranting like a maniac. But I'm not saying he doesn't have a point here, but considering the fact that Nancy Mace is now fielding death threats, yeah, people have taken this too far. As Bill Maher would say, it's basically a TikTok craze that's gotten out of hand. All of you haven't been repressed for the last 500 years, and you're finally able to feel comfortable enough in public because of the new social norms for you all to blossom and come out as your transgender selves. No. When 9 Inch Nails became the biggest thing around, everybody started wearing black. When hip-hop became a massive trend, everybody stopped bending the brims of their baseball hats. People are sheep. This whole thing is a big pile of sheep shit, basically, and we all need a bloody shepherd.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that woman's bathroom and I grab your ratty-looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
And there you go. There's Sarah McBride herself threatening Nancy Mace. And this stuff, this isn't just here at Capitol Hill slowly seeping in. It's everywhere at all levels of government. We've seen Levine dressed up in her uniform. Here's some more embarrassing nonsense.
So inclusion is a national security imperative.
We are screwed.
We fight today, and we are going to fight in the future using brain power.
Hello? Anybody home?
And if that brain, who's going to revolutionize the way we fight in space, we fight in cyber, just happens to be in a trans body, you should want them all serving alongside me. No. But it's inclusion that actually drives that.
I don't believe you.
Because you can bring people in, and if they don't feel safe to speak up, if they don't feel safe to bring their full selves to work,
Boy, do you sound soft.
you're not going to get the value of the diversity.
There's that word again.
So for us, it is absolutely critical to drive our future success as an organization and potentially on the battlefield.
Oh, we're gonna lose the next war.
Well, I myself do not think that we are going to lose the next war. But I was watching the Redacted podcast the other day, and no matter how you slice it, I don't think this is going to be anywhere near as easy as we think it is. They're going to dig in like ticks. And over the next few months, the Democrats are going to try and grandfather in as many of these extremists as they can. Let's check it out.
Where are all the deep state bureaucrats going right now? Do you think all of like the swamp rats in Washington, D.C. are just like jumping ship, right? It's like a burning fire, so they're just jumping ship. No. In fact, the swamp rats are staying put, and they are actively trying to undermine President Trump. This is a bombshell story today by the Washington Times. Obama appointees burrowing in for career federal jobs. Now, we're talking about a tactic called burrowing in, where political appointees from an outgoing administration transition into secure career-level federal jobs that they think they'll coast for many, many years, and they'll do it in the next administration before it takes over, so Trump can't fire them, basically. That's the strategy here. So what's really going on here? Well, during the Obama administration, dozens of political appointees reportedly burrowed in. This means they moved from their appointed roles, and which can be replaced by new leadership. That's exactly what Trump would do, clean house, right? Put in new leadership. Then they transition to career positions that can't basically be fired. They're much harder to dislodge. In fact, they're even harder to find. It's like trying to dig for a rat. Like, where is this rat hiding? In the crawl space. That's exactly what it is. So, in fact, between 2010 and 2015, Auditors found 69 Obama political appointees that he himself appointed had made the shift and burrowed in to the new Trump administration. In fact, 17 cases skipped the required approval process altogether, just transitioned without even getting approval and jumped into these jobs. And they absolutely sabotaged Trump. And the timing here is everything, because when you have a new president coming in, many Obama appointees wanted to cement their positions before Trump could appoint his own team.
Gotcha.
And the timing here is everything, right? So Trump is coming in. Many Obama appointees want to sort of cement their positions here inside the Trump administration, and before he can even appoint anybody. Republicans on Capitol Hill saw this issue. Senator Ron Johnson, specifically from Wisconsin, chair of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, he demanded weekly reports. He wanted to know, like, where are these people hiding on any Obama appointees that tried to burrow in? Like, he's like, you need to report to us weekly. That's how they were able to find this as the administration wound down. And he knew that this was up. He saw this happening as the transition was happening. Obama burrowers nearly destroyed the Trump administration the first time around. He cataloged hundreds of leaks. So you think, oh, well, what's the big deal here? So all of these leaks that were coming out, remember all of those leaks? It was like, what is this? It's like a massively leaky ship.
What's the big deal? We saw that under President Trump's administration, there were people in the Justice Department trying to subvert stories that were unflattering to Hunter Biden in order to oust Trump, who was commander-in-chief at the time.
Right.
That's the big deal, is we can't have a subversive government. We need people who understand that this is the leader now, and we will work for everybody at the behest of the leader.
There we go. Absolutely true. We cannot have people trying to subvert the government from within the government. Ron Johnson, on top of this, trying to find the people burrowing in, and people like Eric Swalwell.
No, we have to nuke them. We have to nuke them now.
Who had a relationship with a Chinese spy, and then she was found killed. This is the kind of guy who is deep state. And here he is defending the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing. I haven't actually seen this clip, but from what I hear, it's just more spin doctoring. Guys like this need to be out of Congress. And if you like these long-form videos, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll have some quick videos coming at you soon, including Matt Gaetz. We're going to hit you with a bunch of Matt Gaetz video, the best of Matt Gaetz, of him destroying the deep state from his position in Congress. And they have like no balls there. They can't really do much. So it's nice to see that he's going to be the new AG, and he's going to destroy.
Kill! Shut up!
We also got another Levine versus RFK video, a real quick one. And don't forget to follow the Redacted podcast. The battle rages on. Thanks so much for watching the vid.
They said multiple times he could testify publicly or privately, and he said he wanted to testify publicly, so he showed up.
He didn't answer any of our questions. He said he wanted it to be in public with cameras there, but we tried to ask him questions. He didn't say anything. So what do you think he's afraid of, or what do you think he's hiding? Why?
I don't know what James Comer is afraid of, because he said Hunter could testify publicly. Hunter showed up publicly, and then Comer no longer wanted him publicly.